Appear weak when you are strong, and strong when you are weak. The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. All warfare is based on deception. In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity. Victorious warriors win first and then go to war, while defeated warriors go to war first and then seek to win. Opportunities multiply as they are seized. The best victory is when the opponent surrenders of its own accord before there are any actual hostilities. He who knows when he can fight and when he cannot will be victorious. If your enemy is secure at all points, be prepared for him. If he is in superior strength, evade him. The art of war is of vital importance to the state. The greatest victory is that which requires no battle. Supreme excellence consists of breaking the enemy's resistance without fighting. To fight and conquer in all your battles is not supreme excellence. Supreme excellence consists in breaking the enemy's resistance without fighting. If you wait by the river long enough, the bodies of your enemies will float by. Let your plans be dark and impenetrable as night, and when you move, fall like a thunderbolt. Build your opponent a golden bridge to retreat across. To know your enemy, you must become your enemy. Even the finest sword plunged into salt water will eventually rust. If the mind is willing, the flesh could go on and on without many things. Treat your men as you would your own beloved sons, and they will follow you into the deepest valley. The general who advances without coveting fame, and retreats without fearing disgrace, whose only thought is to protect his country and do good service for his sovereign, is the jewel of the kingdom. Ponder and deliberate before you make a move. Do not engage an enemy more powerful than you. And if it is unavoidable and you do have to engage, then make sure you engage it on your terms, not on your enemy's terms. The opportunity to secure ourselves against defeat lies in our own hands, but the opportunity of defeating the enemy is provided by the enemy himself. When you surround an army, leave an outlet free. Do not press a desperate foe too hard. Let your plans be dark and impenetrable as night, and when you move, fall like a thunderbolt. The quality of decision is like the well-timed swoop of a falcon, which enables it to strike and destroy its victim. There is no instance of a country having benefited from prolonged warfare. The general who wins the battle makes many calculations in his temple before the battle is fought. The general who loses makes but few calculations beforehand. All men can see these tactics whereby I conquer, but what none can see is the strategy out of which victory is evolved. Move swift as the wind and closely formed as the wood. Attack like the fire and be still as the mountain. In war, the victorious strategist only seeks battle after the victory has been won, whereas he who is destined to defeat first fights and afterwards looks for victory. There is no instance of a nation benefiting from prolonged warfare. The skillful soldier does not raise a second levy. Neither are his supply wagons loaded more than twice. One may know how to conquer without being able to do it. The clever combatant imposes his will on the enemy, but does not allow the enemy's will to be imposed on him. To win 100 victories in 100 battles is not the acme of skill. To subdue the enemy without fighting is the acme of skill. Engage people with what they expect. It is what they are able to discern and confirms their projections. It settles them into predictable patterns of response, occupying their minds while you wait for the extraordinary moment at which they cannot anticipate. When the enemy is relaxed, make them toil when full. Starve them when settled, make them move. If ignorant both of your enemy and yourself, you are certain to be in peril. The opportunity to secure ourselves against defeat lies in our own hands, but the opportunity of defeating the enemy is provided by the enemy himself. What the ancients called a clever fighter is one who not only wins, but excels in winning with ease. When the enemy is relaxed, make them toil when full. Starve them when settled, make them move. Confront them with annihilation, and they will then survive. Plunge them into a deadly situation, and they will then live. When people fall into danger, they are then able to strive for victory. The greatest victory is that which requires no battle. When strong, avoid them. If of high morale, depress them. Seem humble to fill them with conceit. If at ease, exhaust them. If united, separate them. Attack their weaknesses, emerge to their surprise. He will win who knows when to fight and when not to fight. Quickness is the essence of the war. Wheels of justice grind slow, but grind fine. Victory comes from finding opportunities in problems. Never venture, never win. If the mind is willing, the flesh could go on and on without many things. Who wishes to fight must first count the cost. You have to believe in yourself. One mark of a great soldier is that he fight on his own terms or fights not at all. A wise general makes a point of foraging of the enemy, to not press an enemy at bay. For them to perceive the advantage of defeating the enemy, they must also have their rewards. If quick, I survive. If not quick, I am lost. This is death. To secure ourselves against defeat lies in our own hands, but the opportunity of defeating the enemy is provided by the enemy himself. Rewards for good service should not be deferred a single day. Begin by seizing something which your opponent holds dear. Then he will be amenable to your will. If words of command are not clear and distinct, if orders are not thoroughly understood, then the general is to blame. But if orders are clear and the soldiers nevertheless disobey, then it is the fault of their officers. If his forces are united, separate them.